G'day, Steeler Nation. Man, it is a cold one today. It is cold and chilly down in Australia. Now, you're probably thinking, what is an Australian talking about Pittsburgh Steelers football? Well, I am, guys. I'm a massive fan from Australia, and I love the Steelers. So if you enjoy the content, hit that subscribe. Now, let's get into the point of the video. Today's video is talking about Mason Rudolph and the 4 quarterbacks with the Steelers. So, as soon as we went out and got Kenny Pickett, no, hang on, let's backtrack. Let's go to the very start. Let's go to the very start. Now, of course, the tragedy did happen with Haskins, and it's still awful to this day. I think his birthday was the other day. It was meant to be 25. That's awful. We had Big Ben last year, right? We had Big Ben last year in going to be his last 17th, 18th year, and now he's done. The Big Ben era is done, okay? We had Mason Rudolph, and we had... we used to have Duck there too, right? And we also used to have Josh Dobbs. But Dobbs went to the Browns, right? And this will all make sense. Dobbs went to the Browns this year on a 1-year deal. There was talk about going out and getting Aaron Rodgers. There was talk about going out and getting Deshaun Watson, okay? These things fell flat. There's now even talk about going to get Baker Mayfield, right? That could be a possibility, but not right now. We have 4 quarterbacks, okay? I'm just starting to think, man, what is really going on? So the Big Ben era is now done, completed. Thank you, Ben. We'll see you in the Hall of Fame in 5 years, right? We go out and get Mitchell Trubisky for a 2-year deal. 2-year deal for a Pittsburgh Steeler, right? To be a Pittsburgh Steeler for 2 years. Okay, I think now I'm happy with it, and I think he'll be a starter. To be honest, I think Trubisky will be the starter. Let's be real. Okay, Trubisky is our number 1 guy. Now we go into the draft, and unfortunately, Haskins did pass away, and that's horrible. Okay, we go into the draft with 2 quarterbacks, Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. If you're a Mason Rudolph hater, lover, or just sitting on the fence like me, chilling, I support anyone. I don't care. As long as you're a good person and you're wearing the black and gold, I will support you, right? Now, with Mason Rudolph, he is QB number 2, or going to the draft he is. So we had 2 quarterbacks going to the draft. Coming out of the draft, we get another 2. We get 4. Right, and why do you think? Why would we have 4? Well, I'm going to explain. So normally in most Steelers seasons, the past 5, 6, maybe even 10 years I've been watching, the Pittsburgh Steelers always seem to carry on the roster 3 or 4 quarterbacks. The reason being, you go with QB number 1, which was Big Ben, and then you have the backup, which used to be like Landry Jones or Bruce Gradkowski, or even back in the day, Charlie Batch. You go and get the backup quarterbacks. You have 1 and 2. You have that third guy just in case, because the Steelers normally go into a season having 3 quarterbacks on the roster, on the 90-man roster. Now, sorry, my apologies, on the 53-man roster. Now, what they normally do too is they don't normally dress the third guy. Going into games, they dress the first guy, they dress the second guy, but they don't dress the third guy. What they do is now on the roster from 90 men down to 53, including the practice squad, they go into the season with 4. So you're probably thinking, will they trade Mason Rudolph? Will they trade him away? Will they go and get Baker? Will they do this? Will they do that? In my opinion, I don't think they will. I don't think they will trade away Mason at all. I think they'll go into the season with Trubisky being number 1. Number 2, I think will be either Kenny Pickett or Mason, depending how they fight it out, right? And 3 could be either one of those 2, right? Depending how it goes. And 4 will be Chris Oladokun, right? He's going to hit the practice squad unless he makes a tremendous leap and gets up there and becomes the backup quarterback. But for what I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to do, and I could be wrong, I could be right, but what I feel like they're going to do is Mitchell Trubisky will be QB number 1. Mason will be fighting for number 2. Kenny Pickett will be fighting for number 2. Those fellas will split, okay? They will split, and there'll be 1, 2, and 3. And there won't be any trades. There is a lot of trade talk. I haven't heard anything official. I've heard nothing official about Mason being traded, like nothing. No one in the upper echelon of the NFLs, from the Pittsburgh media, nothing. All I've heard about Mason being traded is from fans. It's from fans, either you love Mason or you hate him, or the fact that we go out and get Pickett and now Chris Oladokun, right? They want to trade him away. But my thing is, why would you want to trade him away? Why would you want to trade away Mason when you know that he knows the system? He's been there now, I think, 3 or 4 years, right? Heading into, I think, maybe his 4th year or even 5th year, right? He's been there a long time. Why would you want to trade him away? Because if injuries start to happen, you need a backup quarterback. Say, for instance, knock on wood, right? Now, if Trubisky goes down in the first few weeks, like 1, 2, or 3, he goes down, then it's going to be the Mason Rudolph show or the Kenny Pickett show at number 1. Whoever is number 1, you have to have a backup quarterback. So they will go into the season, in my opinion, they will go into the season with 3 quarterbacks on the roster. 2 will dress, and one will be playing close. The other quarterback will most likely be Chris Oladukin, sitting for the practice squad. So these kind of things, man, like frustrates me a little bit because we know as Steelers fans, we've seen it, right? And then you see all this other noise come in, all this other noise keep coming in. Trade Mason, do this, pick up Baker. I reckon they'll just go with what they got. They went out there, they got Kenny Pickett. They see a future in Kenny Pickett, and they got another quarterback in Chris Oladukin for depth. They brought him in for a chance and for depth because of the tragedy that was to Haskins, right? If Haskins were here, or that position was filled, it would be Trubisky, Pickett, Rudolph, Haskins. Those 4. Okay? This is what they're doing. That's why they've gone with, that's why they picked up 2 quarterbacks. As I started to think about it, they picked up 2 quarterbacks with Kenny Pickett and Chris Oladukin, right? And I don't mean no disrespect to Haskins at all. I'm just saying, from all the noise that comes outside from Facebook, Twitter, and all these other podcasts like myself are putting out there that they're going to trade Mason. Now, could you trade Mason? Yes, of course. You could 100% trade him if you wanted to. But then you've got to start to think, if we think he's bad, or okay, the fans who think Mason's bad, the fans who think Mason is awful, why would other teams pick him up and trade him away? Right? We've got a saying here in Australia, and I won't swear. We've got a saying here in Australia, when you're eating something, and we just do it like a slang. We go, this tastes terrible when you're eating like a snack. Do you want it? I've said that numerous times. Many times I've held up a snack in Australia and I've eaten it and I didn't like it. And I've said, oh man, this tastes yuck. And I have offered it to my friends. Why would they want it? Why would they want my offering if I knew it was yuck? So for the fans out there saying that Mason Rudolph will be traded, but you think he's bad, what are you doing? What's going on? In my opinion, I think nothing happens. I think the Steelers will go into this offseason, into the training camps, into the workouts, Trubisky number 1 with the leading edge, and everyone else needs to compete. Compete for number 2 or number 1. So we'll see what happens, guys. I just find it funny how there are some podcasts out there saying, well, they won't use 4. There's no way they bring in 4. The Pittsburgh Steelers history of the recent history is used 4. We always have a backup quarterback on the practice squad all the time. Joshua Dobbs sat there for a long time, right? Who's the other bloke? Duck Hodges sat there for a long time. We've always had that guy on the practice squad. Even Paxton Lynch sat there on the practice squad for a long time. Okay? We do that. The Pittsburgh Steelers do that. They have 3. They have 1 starter. They have a backup dressed. They have a 3rd backup who's not dressed and have a 4th guy on the practice squad. If you guys enjoy the Steeler Nation Australia content, please hit that sub and like. Do what you need to do because I'm trying to work hard, guys. I really am. And if you have checked out the videos before and you haven't subscribed yet and you're one of the viewers who, do I sub? Do I not sub? Man, just hit it. Just hit it as hard as you can. If you're a massive Steeler fan like me, hit that sub. All right, guys, I'll see you later.